by thanking Ellen, who has been such a good friend and who has been someone, you know, I say this and say it again, I never thought I'd be running for office. I am a first-time candidate, in case you haven't heard that. And how Ellen has offered good counsel, good support, and good cheer, which is very important. And I want to thank you, Ellen, very much for that. So, you know, I just want to start this by saying, I'm just going to talk for just a couple of minutes. I appreciate you all showing up like this in the middle of the afternoon. But I do want to say, this race is really important. I talk a lot about working families and what's happening to working families across the Commonwealth and across the country. I talk about it because I come from a working family. I talk about it because I understand that I got to a place where I got because of so many opportunities that were created for me. And I am deeply, deeply grateful for that. I am also deeply, deeply worried that the America I grew up in, an America that was still investing in kids, an America that still believed that opportunity was not a zero-sum game, an America that believed that every one of us owed it to the future to make a payment, to create the conditions so the next kid would have a chance, and the kid after that, and the kid after that. I worry that that America is disappearing. And that's what pulls me into this race right now. I believe this race is about a vision for what kind of a people we are and what kind of a country we're trying to build. The Republicans have made their vision clear. They believe we're going to build a future by cutting taxes for the richest among us and by cutting all of our investments for everyone else. They believe that's how we build a tomorrow. In effect, their vision says, I got mine, the rest of you are on your own. I don't believe that. I believe that we are better than that. I believe that the way we create a future is that we invest in that future. We have done it in the past, and we have turned away from it, and we need to do it again. We need to make those investments in education again. You know, you think about it, from the Great Depression for the next 50 years, we invested in education, from Project Head Start to community colleges, public universities. We made those investments. We did it on the idea that if our children are better educated, they'll have more opportunities. We invested in infrastructure, in roads and bridges and water and power and sewage. Why? We didn't know what the next great business was going to be. We didn't know who was going to start it. But what we did know, you were probably going to need to plug in. You were going to need to get your goods to market. You were going to need for workers to be able to come to you. So all of us invested in creating those conditions so that businesses could flourish and grow opportunity for all of us. It was an investment for all of us. And we invested in research, in science, in medicine. We invested in building a big pipeline of ideas on the notion that we didn't know what would be invented or what would be cured, but we would make those investments together to build a big pipeline of ideas and it would create more opportunities for all of us. And it worked. You look at the numbers year over year, America's GDP keeps growing up for 50 years after the Great Depression, and so does America's median family income. Our country got richer, our families got richer, our families got richer, our country got richer. We turned away from that, and it has hurt us. And now we live in a world in which China is investing 9% of its GDP in infrastructure. Europe is investing 5% of its GDP in infrastructure. Here in the U.S., we're at 2.4% and trying to figure out how to cut it. That's not building a future. That's not even maintaining the present. We live in a world in which over the last 40 years, we've cut our investment as a proportion of GDP in basic research by more than half, shrinking that pipeline of ideas. And education,